Hey friends, Eric here at Wayside, and I just wanted to make a quick video to show you how we can utilize some of the stuff we have in our fridge hanging out left over from the holidays to create a quick stock to maybe stretch that grocery budget a little bit. We're going to be using some leftover proteins and bones, some celery, some carrots, some onions, some various aromatics, and we're going to use that to create something beautiful that we can share with our neighbors or stretch out some meals. We have this roasting pan here and we're going to throw some oil on it, just to make sure none of our ingredients stick. And we're gonna throw our protein. So chicken works, lamb, beef, anything with bones, anything that has that nice cartilage, connective tissue, we're just gonna throw right here on the pan. Now everybody always has some dead celery or some rougher looking vegetables in our fridge. We can use these to kind of layer out the flavors. Carrots, celery, onion, all of these things are always left over from the holidays and work really well. Fresh garlic is ideal, but if we don't have that, we can always go for the cool jarlic, you know, the Hannaford Special jarlic. Tomatoes work really well to kind of bring out some acidity. Onions, all of these onions peel on are completely fine. You can throw those on the pan. All right, let's just kind of mix these up on the pan. It's okay, there's no order, it can just hang out there. Take our garlic. You can smash the garlic if you want. That'll open it up a little bit, but leaving whole cloves on is completely fine. It's all good. Throw a little bit of our herbs on there. And then a little pro tip, we'll take some tomato paste and we're gonna coat everything in this tomato paste. And when we give it a hard roast, this tomato paste is gonna caramelize and it's gonna add a lot of depth to our stock. So let's get that on there. Nice and spread out. We'll just throw a little oil on there to keep everything nice and coated so we don't stick it to the pan. A little salt and pepper on top. We don't want to season too heavy, because if we season too heavy, when we make the stock, we're going to have to season that, and we're just going to have too much. Which we'll throw it in a hot oven, get some nice color on this. All right, make sure your oven is ripping hot. 350, 450, anywhere in that range, and we'll just keep an eye on it for a little bit. And once that develops some color, we'll pull it out and we'll start the stock. And while that's roasting, we're gonna talk about some of the aromatics that we're gonna put in the stock. Allium, salt, pepper. These herbs right here are dried. They're easy to come by, but if you can't get those, some blends that you get from the grocery store work well too, like an Italian blend, a poultry blend. All of this will go very nicely in the stock. Even dried onion, dehydrated onion works really well layering in those flavors. So all of this will be put into the stock after those veggies roast, and then we'll move from there. All right, so all that stuff is on the pan, getting a nice amount of color. You can see that tomato paste caramelizing. We're developing the juices and the proteins in the meat, and then this allium's getting a nice brown coat on it. We're gonna let this go a little bit longer, and when it's ready, we'll continue. Now that we've got some color on this, we can pull it out and kind of look at what's going on here. And caramelizing and browning it has developed these flavors pretty well, so now that's going to add a lot of layers to our stock. Getting like good color on this stuff is such a hack. So if you're ever making a cool stock, don't be afraid to really burn things up a little bit. So now we're going to take all of this stuff that we roasted off and we're going to add it to our stock pot here. And then we're going to throw some water on top. We really just want to kind of cover everything that's in there. All right. And then we're going to bring it up. We want to bring it up to a simmer, not a boil, because we want this to cook slow over a couple hours. As the water levels reduce, we can keep adding water, and you can just keep it going. As long as there's water covering this, it's just going to develop more flavor, become more rich. So don't be afraid to just let it go for a few hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, however long you have. And now we're going to take these aromatics, the allium, salt and pepper, and we're going to add it to the stock pot to kind of develop those flavors more. And don't be afraid to be experimental with this. If you have extra herbs laying around your house, try it. The only thing I would caution is maybe stay away from like broccoli or leafy vegetables, as that might impart a strange flavor into your broth. But any kind of dried herbs that you have will work just fine. Any kind of dried onions, garlic, any of that's fine. So we have some dried sage that we're going to put in here. We have one of those blends I was discussing earlier. This is one from our local Hannaford. It's just an Italian seasoning blend. That'll work really well. The classic bay leaf that's going to go in there. And then again, some dry onions. And we'll let all of this kind of work together to build those flavors again. Once this stock is ready to go, we're gonna pass it through a strainer. We wanna remove all the roasted particulates, some of the heavier herbs, the vegetables. So we're just gonna run it through a strainer. And just as a reminder, all of this stuff that you cooked in this stock is still very usable. So if you have pieces of chicken with meat or some of these vegetables, you can pull that out and incorporate it into other dishes. None of this has to go to the garbage. I wouldn't recommend eating maybe the onion peels, but the rest is completely usable still. All right, and this is our finished product. We have this nice, rich, deep brown stock, layered flavors. And now with this, you can do a lot of things. You can stretch it out, you can cross-utilize it, you can kind of make it work for things in your house. Or on cold days like this, you can just kind of spoon it into a mug and have at. Now that we have this stock done, we're going to talk about ways we can hang on to it. We can keep it in our fridge for about a week, should be fine, but ideally you would want to freeze it. Throw it in a container, throw it in your freezer, use it as needed, and in the next video we're going to show you how you can use it.